You're listening to the Platte River Bard.
And good. Okay.
All right.
Hello, and welcome to the Platte River Bard. This is Chris Berger.
And I'm Sherry Berger.
And we are here today virtually with Addie Barnhart. She is the director of Dial M for Murder over at the Omaha Community Playhouse. And it's her first time talking with us on the podcast. Thank you very much for talking with us, Addie.
Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you. And what a big production that you're working on.
Yeah, it's a really exciting piece. And, I've been with OCP in various roles for the last couple of years, but this is my first directing spot with them.
Okay, first directing spot with OCP.
Yeah. So it's exciting to kind of shift gears a little bit, but also bring some of my other skills that I've been sharing behind the scenes into the process. So
cool.
Yeah,
now,
cool.
What had you been doing with OCP before taking the director spot on Dial M?
So the first thing I did with them was Rent in 23. I was on stage, which was a blast.
Sweet.
I came out of musical theater retirement for that.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then from there, I moved into dialect coaching and intimacy choreography.
Okay.
So I've been working primarily as a dialect coach and choreographer for several different productions, sometimes the same shows, doing both, sometimes one or the other. And I get to do all three for this one. So kind of blending my mix of skills, wearing many hats in this play.
So you have a lot of I haven't seen this play. So you have a lot of situations where you have to do the intimacy piece.
I wouldn't say a lot, but there are enough.
Enough.
Yeah, there's enough that it is useful to have. I think it's useful for any production, really, because intimacy is beyond just simulated sex. It's anything with contact. It could be, any sort of relationship can be intimate, and we don't know what people bring in with them into a room. So this work is trauma-informed and agency-forward.
Nice.
So it just gives actors the opportunity to say, this works for my boundaries, or I'd like it a different way. And particularly, this show, Dial M for Murder, there's contact in this. There's a murder sequence, spoiler alert.
Yes.
So because we have violence as well, these are things that we don't always think about, that consent is not just around intimacy, but violence is intimacy because we're still in close quarters.
Very intimate. Yes.
Right.
Done a lot of fight stuff. And man, you got to trust. There's so much trust that happens there. Yes.
And so giving folks the opportunity to have informed consent and say, maybe this isn't the right show for me. If this is something that activates me as an actor or a human being, or can I work within my tolerance, my threshold of boundaries?
Right.
Can we adjust with the fight choreographer, with the director, with the intimacy choreographer to create a story that works for everyone on stage and still tells the story of the moment without putting anyone at risk or psychological harm?
Right.
So it's just really exciting to be able to kind of blend all of those worlds.
That's cool.
And share that with our cast.
Now, was it because of the material itself that did you sort of go after this to be the director, or did they say, oh, hey, do you want to throw your hat in? Or did you, or were you like, I'm throwing my hat in on this one?
So I submitted to the open call for creatives last year.
Oh, nice.
But I'm really particular about material that I work on.
Fair.
I am a firm believer that not every project is for every person. So when I submitted my name, I did put in my application, I would really like to know what material is being selected for season 101. Because if it's not the right show for me, I don't want to say yes to it. I don't want to put myself in a room on material that doesn't inspire me, that I'm not going to be, it may not fit me as a director for whatever reason. So I did submit an application, and then before Alex Rodriguez left, he reached out and said, "We'd like to consider you for this show. Are you interested?" And I was like, "Well, I need to read it." So you send it to me. And we did a pretty tight turnaround because VJ and Brandon were kind of slowly being onboarded.
Right.
We did a quick Zoom session to talk about intimacy choreography for Angels in America.
Oh, yes.
And in that meeting talked about Dial M for Murder. Nice. And it did feel like a good fit. So after I read it, at first I was like, I don't know, a long talking murder mystery that's just, and then I read this adaptation and I was like, oh, this is exciting and it's fresh and it takes the original source material and the characters are a lot more fleshed out and more robust. And I can play with pacing in a way that feels more theatrical, but still honors the original text and the film. So we're taking the Hitchcock style and we're honoring that sort of film noir, but we're leaning into what I feel is a little bit more contemporary sensibilities and timing and drive, because it does need to have, high stakes and feel like these things are unfolding really quickly so the audience doesn't get ahead of us. Right. Whereas the film really does kind of lean back and take its time and have that transatlantic rhythms and that's not our audience's rhythm anymore.
Right, so, exactly. Yeah. So this is a newer adaptation newer. Yeah. Okay, interesting.
And it's based on an Alfred Hitchcock story for those people who don't know.
Gosh, it would have to be very different. I would think to put it on stage. Yeah, what a difference there would have to be, because it does. Yeah, it has that. I never heard it described that way, but yes, it does have that rhythm. It's very much so. Very much so.
Yeah, slow burn.
Yeah. So this is a little more, maybe a faster paced kind of, and more fleshed out characters, which is always great.
Yeah. So the things that I think are like the key notable differences. Number one, the character of Mark in the movie is Maxine in the play. Oh. So it adds another layer of tension and subversion in that love triangle trio.
Okay.
And being 1952, a queer relationship just elevates the stakes even more.
Yes.
It isolates the location to one space. So it all takes place inside the flat.
Okay.
And with the radio, the BBC interview kind of happening simultaneously, but we hear it through the radio.
Okay, leaving. Sure, that works.
So it's contained a little bit more like a well-made play, even though it doesn't really only pass the time that we see on stage. There are a couple of time jumps.
Okay.
The amount of time that we see pass in each scene is the amount of time that passes in each scene.
Oh,
which is really exciting.
Okay.
But those are kind of the two big ones that really elevate the story in that way. Is it stays in one location. We've changed the gender of one of the characters. And the women roles have a lot more content. So it's not subservient to the Tony character.
Right.
The Margot character, the Maxine character are kind of not more important, but equally important to Tony's arc, which makes it a little bit more exciting to watch.
Yeah.
We don't really know who's going to get away with what and how it's going to turn out until the very last second.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really yeah.
I love that.
And this is on the big stage. So there's going to be...
Yeah. I think it would be really cool on the small space, but it's going to feel really exciting in the main stage. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it working either one.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And Jim's set design and lighting design is really great.
I was gonna say,
John's
yeah.
sound design is great.
Yeah.
We've got Kyle Thomas doing original composition. So we've got some
Sweet.
underscoring to help give that film noir highlight sort of the thematic elements.
Oh, I'm a big fan of underscoring. I'm such a big
That's-
fan of underscoring.
That's very 50s right there.
I'm
It's cool.
such,
Yeah.
and that'll work, and it'll work so well with, especially with that type of murder mystery type of thing. That'll be, that'll be beautiful.
It's going to be fun. I think it's going really well, and I've got a great cast. Our ensemble is just really exceptional. We've got a great room happening.
Awesome.
Excellent. Not to put you on the spot. Oh, who are some of your cast members?
So I've got Nina Washington and Mackenzie Zorn playing Margot and Maxine.
Ooh.
Josh Payton is playing Tony.
Hey, Josh.
Seth Maisel is playing Lesgit. He's
Seth.
also our fight director.
Excellent.
And Brett Foster is playing Inspector Hubbard. And then I have two incredible swings. Max Monahan and Bronwyn Barr are the swings for the male and the female tracks.
Okay.
And they have been so incredible in this process, stepping in for folks when they've been out on, if we've had absences, but also just integrating them into the process as we've gone through really sets us up for success. As, we've learned since post-COVID, sometimes the show can't go on. So building these folks in as an integral part of the process so that they are set up for success. If, God willing, something were to happen, they don't have to go on with book in hand and doing it on the fly for the first time.
Right.
They're prepared to step in, and their interpretations of these characters are honoring their actors' sensibilities, but still doing the blocking, still, telling the story that we're telling.
Right.
But they are learning more than one track. Bronnie has 2, Max has 3, and they're both really brilliant collaborators. They've come in with some fun, different takes on these roles, and it gives the other actors something exciting to play with on different nights. So it just kind of keeps the room fresh in a different way. It's very cool.
That's a great idea.
That's fun.
Is there anything during this process that you thought was kind of a surprising, either a kind of a cool surprise that you weren't expecting, or has everything kind of gone as planned?
Yeah, something taken by surprise?
Not yet.
That's
but
good.
There's still 2 weeks left.
Well, we will hope that nothing like that happens.
Yeah. But I'm pretty fastidious about my process, and I've been doing this long enough that I kind of know how I like things to flow. Mm-hmm. I build my calendar really early. I know how quickly I block. I work big to small, so I start with table work. I drop in a shape for the blocking pretty fast, and then really start honing relationship and specificity from there. And that has really served me well as a storyteller. I'm neurospicy. I'm a neurodivergent person. So I like to kind of know how things go, and having a plan that I can follow and then kind of diverge from as things arise really helps me feel capable and confident coming into a room, and communicating in advance sets me up for success. So I really like to know what I'm stepping into and give everybody as much information as possible before we start process. Cool. So we all kind of know what we're consenting to when we begin sharing space together.
Yeah, everybody can be on the same page.
So exactly.
Yeah.
So this is not your first time directing, though. Just the first time
at
OCP.
Just at OCP.
Yeah.
Correct.
Where else have you been?
Yeah. What other shows have you done?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
My full-time job is at Creighton University. I'm an associate professor of theater here.
Nice.
So I've directed here. I started in 2019. Fall of 2019.
Okay.
So this is my 7th year. I've worked with Great Plains for their new play conference several times. I do a lot of new play development.
Cool.
I've worked regionally quite a bit. I moved here from Richmond, Virginia. So I was at a Shakespeare company called Quill Theater, now Richmond Shakespeare.
Oh, nice.
I was with Theater Lab there. I've worked Playmakers Theater in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I've kind of been all over the place.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
I knew you
Amazing.
had done a lot. I knew when I asked that you would have a lot.
I had the pleasure of kind of working with people in all age ranges too. I started in youth theater in my professional career,
Okay.
and then kind of continued to elevate up in age. But yeah, I started directing when I was pretty young. My first show was when I was 20.
Okay.
So,
You started directing early. Okay.
Yeah.
Found it early.
yeah.
Interesting.
Did it take you a while to adjust to Nebraska then from Virginia?
Was it a culture shock?
It was a little bit of a culture shock,
Yeah.
but I'm from Kansas originally, so
okay.
it was coming back to the Midwest was not really
Yeah.
it was more the weather. Coming back to the weather,
Well,
I got
yes.
really soft in the South,
Yeah.
and
Indeed.
I don't know that I will ever get used to the cold gray again.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
at least
it's
we're
tough.
coming out of it for right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like
almost done.
personality's finally coming back.
Yeah. It's just a little colder, but it's pretty similar to Kansas.
Yeah, it's
But
gotten
we
a lot.
get a little colder.
It's gotten a lot milder, I think, in recent years. So at least you got that going for you.
It has
Yeah,
since I've
no
been
kidding.
up here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm from Kansas City. I think and I've only been
Okay.
up here for like 10-ish years, and I think it's gotten more mild
yeah.
since
There have been a
since
couple
I've
of
been here.
pretty intense ones since I've been here.
Yes.
But this past summer was not terrible, and I am grateful for that.
Yes, I'm glad.
I enjoy
Well,
that.
I'm sorry you have to endure our winters, but I am glad that you are here.
Yes.
Here.
And Creighton always does such great work. I
Oh
know
my
you
gosh,
guys
yes.
always have a lot of great productions going on there.
Yes, I've worked with a lot of really great, very nice folks from Creighton that
Yeah,
have
we've
been
met
through the
quite a
program there.
few
Met quite a
in
few.
shows.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh my gosh.
A lot of my former students, current students, colleagues have been on your podcast.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes,
they have.
we have encountered many. Yes, absolutely, and great program. So excellent job.
Yes, excellent job for sure.
You are a part of it.
Thank you. Yeah, I really love it here. I don't foresee leaving anytime soon.
Good. Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
We'll just have to, keep you well stocked
That's
on
right.
coats and,
Keep you around.
and all
Amen.
that ice melt for the sidewalks and all that good
Yes,
stuff.
no kidding.
Holy cow!
So this production opens on April 17th. We are not too far away and goes all the way to May 10th,
Yes,
the main stage.
getting close. How you feeling?
I feel good.
Feeling
I feel
good?
really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, we are really in a good place right now. We're honing dialect. We're sharpening things, really kind of focusing on pace and stakes, keeping our foot on the gas, really like hyper fixating on some of these moments that really sell the story. But our designer run is tonight, and I guess that's a week earlier than is typical
I
in
just say
OCP.
that's pretty early. Yeah.
Yeah, but my thought is always the earlier they get to see it, the longer we have to change things if they don't work. So, and we're ready. So if we're ready, let's
yeah.
get them in.
Yeah, the longer the actors have to work with stuff, yeah, because
better
it's,
it
it's
is.
just so weird. Anytime you introduce anything new,
Yeah.
everything gets weird for a rehearsal, and then it goes back to normal the next one. It's just
Right.
like, just get it all out of the way as soon as possible.
Yeah.
About that too. I was like,
I'm
we're going to
with
be
you.
off book, our first off book run. You're going to forget how to do your dialect.
I know.
I get it.
I know.
It's going to go away, and then it'll come
Yep.
back.
And then I'll put
So
this prop on your hand, and you'll forget all your lines.
Yeah, you don't know
And we don't know
You've got
why.
a cross somewhere. You don't know what you're doing anymore. But they're in really good shape. They're excellent actors, and they're all just so committed to the work. But another thing that I have as part of my process is because I work quickly and because I'm neurodivergent, I can't rehearse the way that OCP typically rehearses.
Okay.
I max out at 3 hours a night.
Oh, okay.
My day, I'm doing theater all day long. I have the privilege of doing this for a living.
Nice.
So I'm done at 9:30. My brain shuts down. So
Fair
we
enough.
only rehearse 5 days a week for 3 hours a night, which I think is not a typical schedule for a lot of theater companies. Which means I really do need to do my homework and be prepared to come in. And that's why I give them this schedule really far in advance. And everybody was totally on board for that. And I also think having 2 full days off a week gives them more time to percolate and integrate things into their bodies and have some time to rest and recover so that they're able to really retain and jump in and try. So, maybe we're ready a week early, but we're also working really hard while we're in the room and making the most of the time we have together. Yes. And it's a play. It's not a musical. Yeah. So I acknowledge that, like, we have that privilege.
True.
Right.
True. Yes. Yeah. True. You don't have that whole other. Yeah.
Right. I don't have to do a ton of musical choreography. No. I don't have to learn an entire score.
No.
Yeah.
We have a 5-scene play.
Yeah.
Yes. One set, 5 scenes. Yeah.
It's kind of like the studies they did on reading, that, that if you read 20 minutes at a time and take a break, you can retain it for longer. It's the same concept. So I can see where it would be really helpful to be able to have shorter times. Yeah.
Well, no, absolutely. And everybody knows that going in. This is like, okay, we have a 3-hour rehearsal, in 3 hours we're done. It's not like, we'll be done in 4 or 5 hours or so and we'll have time. No. We have 3 hours. So and that puts the actors in the right state of mind to go in. It's like, okay, when we come in, we boom, 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 we work, but we're only there for 3 hours and then we're, Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're home by 10 instead of leaving at 10.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but like that off board for me at the end of the night,
it makes a big difference.
Yeah. I mean, it takes the wind down. The older I get is harder and harder and harder. So if I'm leaving at 10, I'm up until 1. And
Yep.
That's tough when you get old.
Yeah. I know. And you can't turn it off. It's not like you can go, well, I'm just going to go to bed now. No, doesn't work that way.
5:30 comes very early.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
And, murder mysteries are just the rage all these days.
Yeah.
I've noticed a lot of kids really like murder mysteries. And so it turns out to be a good family. Now, I know this isn't super family friendly. I will just preempt it by saying that, right? Because I think I read something like that.
It depends on who your family is.
Fair enough.
It's not scandalous, but there is
sure.
A relationship between two women.
Okay.
There are a couple of onstage kisses, but it's not salacious. It's not explicit.
Okay.
And there's not it's not adult language.
Okay.
Yes, there's a murder on stage, but it's not extremely violent. It happens pretty fast.
Right.
It's not anything like what we're seeing in Marvel movies or on TV.
On TV.
Very good point.
You know, it really is pretty tame, I would say, compared to a lot of media that we're seeing.
Fair enough.
But it is still a pretty talky play.
Yeah.
So I don't know that someone under middle school age is going to be captivated by this.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
Teenagers and above, probably.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If they're interested in it, if they like a fast-paced, kind of what's going to happen thriller story unfolding, if you're interested in British sensibilities and dialect and movement work and like period theater, I think this is absolutely appropriate for somebody who's 13 or 14.
Absolutely. Well, and a lot of YA stuff is mystery stuff.
It is.
Yes.
It's a ton. It's huge in YA literature and all that. So all the kids, I mean, like we grew up reading, Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew and all that other kind of stuff, and they have all this other stuff. Actually, there's a hell of a lot more of it that they have.
Yeah. And representation matters, and we get to see
and it's
this
all across the spectrum.
in a period piece where, yes, maybe these relationships weren't typically in our canon, but they existed in history, which is exciting. And then another, kind of interesting, I say interesting, I don't know, I made the choice, so maybe that's a bias, but a choice that my team and I, Adam Clayton is my assistant director, Gabby Hyatt is our stage manager. The three of us together, when we were working through the audition process, casting Nina Washington, who is a woman of color, in the role of Margot in a 1950s British play, we made the choice, okay, we're going to lean into this. We're not going to pretend like she's not a woman of color in this era, who is a woman of status and has in American equivalent in 2026, her nest egg is equivalent to $175 million.
Good Lord.
Nice.
So lots of money, right? So we were like, okay, let's think about research-wise. She would probably be coming from some sort of Caribbean background. One of her parents is maybe in some sort of sugarcane work, or has some
Sugarcane or rum or something. Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
let's lean into blending her dialect from island sounds and UK sounds and honoring this background rather than trying to whitewash this character.
That's really cool.
It is really cool.
And it gives her this added layer because it's like, well, she doesn't have a straight British accent like everybody else. So it's like, okay. And that just adds another layer for her and the audience.
So that tension, and then building in this, all of these elevations and layers just become deeper and deeper. And we're exciting to unpack when we get to see it depicted on stage. I hope. Maybe it doesn't read, but that's the backstory. Take it or leave it.
I love it.
That's cool as hell.
Great.
I love it.
That's great. And it's great that you're able to do that and give somebody else an opportunity to do that and to kind of even just expand the character as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
that's
little
great.
subtle things. Yeah. It's not like you're changing the script or anything. No. No. And that's, I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
I love it.
I love it.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you.
Yes.
Me too.
And I think this is going to be great. And congratulations on being able to do this.
Yes,
and
first show at
sounds like
OCP.
so much fun. And
We're so excited to open. We're excited to have some audiences.
Yes. You guys about ready for,
I'm going to do a shameless plug. I'm working on
Do it.
UNO's production of Romeo and Juliet that opens the same weekend. I'm doing intimacy choreography for them.
Oh, yay.
So that's happening at the same time. None Since at Creighton is opening the same weekend.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not working on it, but
Wow.
my students are doing it. There's a ton of theater happening
much
that
theater.
same weekend.
That's a big weekend. Yeah.
Big weekend. I think the Shelter Belt show is happening the same time.
Oh,
so we've
gosh.
got
Yeah,
a
I think
ton
so. Yeah.
of incredible options that weekend. Go see some live theater.
It's so
Check out what's
hard
happening.
Yeah.
$7 student tickets that first weekend for
Oh.
OCP's show, though. So that's really great. If
Oh.
you get
That's nice.
a ticket at the box office and you have a student ID, you can get a $7 ticket Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the first weekend, $7. Hell
Awesome.
yes.
So much great theater. And so exciting that you're
great
involved in
theater.
so much of it as well.
Yeah. I like to keep busy. I wear many hats.
I
Yes.
love it. Hats are good.
As we do.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us.
Yeah, this was great.
And everybody
So
does.
nice to meet you both.
Yes. So great to meet you too.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Addie Barnhart. She is the director
Yes.
of Dial M for Murder over at OCP. And that runs from the 17th of April to the 10th of May.
Yep.
And they're on the big stage, the main stage.
The main stage, you can get your tickets at omahaplayhouse.com.
Absolutely, as always.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Abby.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
You too. Thank you for listening and supporting the arts in the Platte River area and beyond. Please subscribe to our podcast so you are sure to catch all of our future episodes and join us on social media. See you next time on the Platte River Bard.